Hey guys, welcome back to another video review. Today we'll be taking a look at a bronze/silver level match on Volkskya. Let's get this started.
Yo. Oh, I see. It's you again. And
Stop.
Graves again.
Gang. Yeah, we meet again.
Alright, let's see what the team comp's gonna be.
Last match.
Let's go back. What are we looking at?
Lucio. There you go.
Alright, so we're looking at D.va, Mercy, Pharah, Reinhardt, Soldier, Lucio. This is actually a pretty good team comp for this map. You've got the Pharah Mercy that can go over top, and then the D.va, Reinhardt, Lucio, Soldier that can go through the choke. Overall, this is actually a really good comp for this. Not something I would typically expect to see in Bronze, but pretty good. So let's get the game started.
Hey.
I happen to main Lucio.
I main Anna too. So I don't know, my soldier's doing good today.
Fight. Last match.
Alright, let's get going.
I'm gonna hop around. I'm gonna am.
Yeah, but D.va, Sim.
So D.va's taking the way around.
Oh,
D.va,
yeah.
hold on,
We're
wait for me,
Bastion,
D.va,
huh?
hold on, wait. Alright, let's go. Come on, together.
This is good teamwork, good communication, waiting for your team.
I need to get health.
Good use of defense matrix.
Oh, Junkrat's super low.
Alright, this is actually pretty good, so we're gonna go back and look. So you see Symmetra coming in to engage. You use your matrix to stop the first attack, and then you take the high ground. Now, taking the high ground, you can do quite a lot of work. So,
Junkrat's
but
super low.
then you decide to drop down, which actually isn't too bad of a call.
I'll go
But
Genji for Bastion.
a lot of your team's already died, so again, great use of the high ground. I have to say, this is much better than your last video. You're really taking into account positioning a little better. Now, they do have a D.va and a Zarya, which is going to make it a little difficult for you as D.va, but you said this is who you're comfortable on, so we'll stick with it. At this point, I was kind of conflicted because I went back and watched it a few times, and you do take the high ground,
I'll go
and you
Genji
do sit
for
up there and see
Bastion.
what you can do. At this point, you do have a Pharah that's still shooting rockets down, so you do still actually have a DPS that's helping you out. The better call probably would have been to just back up. There is a health pack in the room behind you, and communicate to your Pharah that maybe she should drop back. Instead, you start to get attacked, and you try to leave.
We got him out of
They have
position.
a Bastion.
Holy shit, that quickly?
I'm kind of letting this play out. Okay, so we're gonna go back to here, I think it is.
We got him out of
They have a
position.
Bastion.
Right there, the guy tells you they have a Bastion. Bastion as baby D.va is almost an insta-kill on you. Now, your first priority should be finding the Bastion. This is actually what surprised me the most. So, their D.va disengages, which is actually the wrong call for their D.va. Their D.va should have pushed you and killed you, because you're pretty much a free kill with half health. But instead disengages, allows you to get away. Instead, you decide to stay and fight. So, I'm
Position.
gonna see if I can stop it at the right point. Right there. There's the Bastion. Right there, right in front of you. But you don't see him.
Holy shit, that quickly?
So you go ahead. Now you see the Bastion. And I honestly think the only reason you saw the Bastion is because of the bubble. So initially what you should have did, as soon as that D.Va disengaged way back, too far back, way back here,
We got him out of position.
Yeah, Bastion.
you should have just
Holy
left.
shit, that quickly?
You should have just backed up and left. Instead you decide to push him. You run into Bastion. Now if that Bastion had turned around at any point, you would have been dead. Unfortunately he didn't, and it actually kind of works out for you. So, hitting with your Bunny Blaster, again, your aim is actually very good with that.
Thank you. Fucking same, I hate that shit.
So they have a Bastion, and you're actually one of the main counters to Bastion. So instead of
they just
hopping
have one
away,
healer, so
you should communicate with your healer and stay in the
I'll
front
try to
line
find
in
you.
defense matrix so somebody can kill the Bastion. Instead you fly
Thank
up
you, Mercy.
and fly away and take the back way.
That Symmetra has turret.
And this is actually, again, what surprised me. I don't know if you just couldn't see him because he kind of blends in. But we're going to go back to right when you pop into the mech, which is right about
same, I
here.
hate that shit.
So Bastion sets up actually like right in front of you. He sets up right there. I know the video is kind of grainy, but he sets up right there and begins to fire. So you leave
Again, they just have one healer, so
when your better choice would have been to defense
I'll
matrix
try to
straight
find
ahead and hope your team could take it out.
thank you, Mercy.
Now this is actually something I found funny. It has nothing to do with you, but your Mercy's actually the one killing the teleporter. Just an odd thing to point out. So again, you come around, and he hasn't moved. He's still there. So I don't know what you were really expecting,
That Symmetra has
but he
turrets
just pops you
everywhere.
out and almost kills you.
Oh my god, what?
Now this goes back to the first video, but pay attention to what's going on. You've lost your tank, you've lost a DPS, and you're out of mech. So at this point, your best bet probably would be to go back with your team. The biggest point I can stress pretty much in this whole video is the more you stay alive, the better it is.
What just happened?
And you've done really good at staying alive, but pretty much in situations where you really shouldn't have. So once you start to climb into higher ranks, this kind of situation isn't going to happen. They are going to kill you. Now I actually thought that was really good. This is like the complete opposite of the problem you had earlier. You have actually very good awareness. You see the Junkrat as he pokes his head out, and you go for him. Unfortunately, you're not going to win that fight with the Bunny Blaster that close to him. Had you had a little more time, you could have won it, but
Thank you.
Never
not much you
forget.
could really do.
I got ulti, so
So your Reinhardt's in the
Bastion
front.
is on
He's
the
just
right,
told you
in the
he's had
back.
ultimate.
On the point.
So you should be up there with your Reinhardt defense matrixing, protecting him from the Bastion. Instead, your Reinhardt gets blown up by the Bastion ultimate. You could have stopped that, and he could have ulted the Bastion.
Almost, I got my ult already.
So good use of the high ground. Unfortunately, they do have a Bastion in the back, so the high ground's not really going to help you in this situation.
Oh my god, what did I just do?
Alright, I have to go back and show that again, just because, again, this is another, like, what the heck happened.
What did I just do?
Whoop, I can go back quite far enough. So, Farah decides to get in there and get cheeky and ult this box. I don't know what he has against the box, but I don't think it deserved that. And every time I watch that, it's funny. So we'll do it one more time.
Oh my god.
Alright, so this isn't a comment on your play, but this is a comment on his play. There is no way that that ult would have done anything had that box not been in the way. Their firepower is too fast. He would have got shot out of the sky immediately. Just something to point out.
God, what did I just do?
So good use of defense matrix to keep your team alive. Unfortunately, you guys are kind of just standing there getting hit. So this is a point
Sorry guys.
where you, and I can tell you what's going to happen because I've seen it, but you're going to send your ultimate in and it's not going to do too much. Whereas your Reinhardt's already communicated to you that he has his ultimate, so you should let him ultimate first and then bomb. There goes your ultimate.
They have a telecam.
You kill some you kill some turrets and you kill Zarya, but that could have definitely been a 4 or 5 player kill.
Oh, the Bastion's almost dead.
At the tail.
Bastion's dead.
Watch out, World.
So he ults. You guys are basically fighting
I
on the
would res
point.
us. Res me. Res me.
Pretty much just a
There we go.
brawl. Not much you can really do in this situation. Good job pushing the Junkrat, just
There
being
we go,
aware.
we got this.
Alright, so this is the next point, and this is actually my next tip for you. The big thing that's going to really help you if you want to play a tank is to learn body language. Now, it's hard to
Yeah, we
see in
got
this
this.
video. In fact, it's almost impossible to see in this video, but you actually see the Zarya coming
There we
in.
go.
I think it's right.
There we go.
It's right there. Like I said, it's hard to see in this video, but she's right there. So you should have seen her running straight at you. At this level, actually pretty much up until gold, and maybe even some really fancy people in platinum. When you see a Zarya running at you, straight at you, at a 4-minute mark, and she hasn't used Graviton, you know she has a Graviton. So at that point, you should immediately start matrixing her. I know most D.va's reaction is, why should I matrix Zarya? Most times she's gonna see me, she's gonna left click, and it's not gonna do anything. This is where body language comes into play, and you should see that she's gonna try to use her ultimate to change the game, because everybody from bronze to gold, and even some people in masters, think that their ultimate is gonna win them that 1v6 or that 1v5 or that 2v4. Or, you know, they're trying to even the odds when really they should have just saved the ultimate. But you could have easily eaten this, because you could have seen this
We
coming.
got this.
That being said, when she does ultimate, you do the smart thing and right click and pretty much stop any damage she could have did, even though she's a low energy Zarya. So doing the right thing, you guys absolutely kill her, and you push
Bastion,
forward.
they're almost back.
Oh my
This
God,
is the
thank
right
you.
this is the right play up until this point. As soon as you got your booster back, you should have fled back to the point. Overall, not a bad death, though. You did prevent Bastion
I
from getting a
got
good
5
position and
HP.
attacking the point.
Oh, yeah, I got
Just
some
something to
kills.
keep in mind. You're not going to beat a Bastion and a Mercy together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, we should wait for Ryan.
So good,
On my way.
good team communication.
Mine's at half.
Alright, I'm here.
Oh, Junkrat's almost got me.
How about we move and separate for that?
Again, good team communication.
Oh fuck. D.va.
I got the ulti. Hold on, I'm coming behind.
Alright, so I missed it. I should have pointed this out, but right at this point, you see you've already lost your Genji. Of course. Alright. Ignore the technical errors. So right there. So you see you've already lost your Genji.
I got the ulti. Hold on, I'm coming behind.
So you decide to go for a flank.
Wow.
Now, again, look up at the top. You've lost your Pharah. You've basically lost your 2 DPS at this point. So going for a flank is a good idea, but at this point, I would honestly either wait and fly back and wait for your team, or sit up here and wait for the rest of your team to push in as one.
Wow, how did they see me coming? That's bullshit.
So you decide to flank from this far back. Now, as D.va, this far back isn't going to do you really any good, and it's basically 4v6 already. The other problem is they have Bastion, they have Mercy, they have D.va. So basically those three together are going to counteract anything you can do, especially from this range. Honestly, if you were in the perfect situation and say you had all 6 DPS and you were going for this flank and everything was set up the same with the exception of, like I said, you had your team members, the better place to be would be right here. Bastion can't hit you, but you have a line of sight straight down on Reinhardt. You have a line of sight on D.Va, and most importantly, you have direct line of sight on Mercy. So you can pretty much do meaningful damage while having a lot of information. There's also Symmetra here, so that's the only downside, is you'll be kind of in Symmetra's range, but you can play the high ground advantage to negate most of that.
There's the Bastion.
Holy crap, that was intense.
So of course they turn around, D.Va
You
pushes
saw me
you,
coming, man. It's bullshit.
you fly back,
Trying to get the shield jank.
and this is pretty much going to be a death. You're too far behind, and they're looking straight at you. So you do your best Greg Louganis impression and swan dive into the water.
I'm too young to die. My ultimate is ready.
So we're going to go for another push.
I
So
got
they have
the
a
shield jank.
shield generator now. Again, at this range, your
What
damage
the
is
fuck?
nothing.
Okay, I got the shield jank.
So you've lost a DPS, but you've killed their shield generator. This is a little bit misguided of aggression,
Whoop, I got Symmetra.
but your Reinhardt commits, so there's not much you can really do. You should definitely go with it. Now, you do get pinned. Not much you can really do about that, other than preemptively put yourself in a better position. Again,
Whoop,
at this point, I would have flew up here, just because, again, it gives you a better vantage point, it gives you high ground, and you can still defense matrix to help your Reinhardt. The only downside, I guess, is Bastion's there. So maybe staying on the ground was the right call.
I got Symmetra.
So you get pinned, and you say, well crap, I'm almost dead, so I'm going to throw my ult out. You just mess out the execution a little bit and don't take off enough, so it stops there, and it's easily blocked.
Oh, there's some natural.
So Bastion's firing, you do get hit once,
Murph is
not much
dead.
you can do. You get pinned again. You do fly away. You've lost a healer at this point. So you decide to go back in and keep
Oh
pushing.
my god, another fucking shield jank?
Now they are down
I'll try
Bastion,
to take it again.
but they've rezzed, so... Or no, the Bastion killed the Genji, never mind. So at this point, probably the best idea would have been to leave. You should say, hey team, we've already lost Lucio, we've lost Genji, we've lost Reinhardt, so we should probably go.
I'll try to take it again.
Now you do have Mercy sitting back there, so your Reinhardt's back, so you guys continue this aggression. You could have Matrixed that fire or strike. So they got another shield generator, because Symmetra's pretty much been alive this whole time. Now you've lost your Mercy, but they've lost their D.Va. Good job on
Damn,
the Mercy.
Junkrat, I can't
Now you've
keep
lost
getting there.
your Zenyatta. So you've lost your Zenyatta and your Mercy. You guys are down both healers. It's going to be hard to win this push. And you do the right thing and back up. Unfortunately, Junkrat gets you.
I can't
So-
get through the door. The Junkrat spam is everywhere.
So this is actually one thing I really noticed when I was watching this the first time. Your teammate says that they're having problems getting through the door with the Junkrat spam. So unfortunately I can't hear what you're saying. I do see you're communicating, but whoever's having a problem with that,
Yeah,
you should
sure,
definitely
I
be
told
with
you, but I
them,
have my ult.
because you're
Just try to
an
find
easy
a place
counter
for it,
to
but I got my ult too,
Junkrat.
so might as well just use it.
Well, let's go. I'm gonna walk in because I got my ulti, so let's go.
So as soon as he says, I've got my ulti, you should have defense matrixed as much of that Bastion ult as you could. You fly up. Pretty much nothing you could do at this point. That Reinhardt pretty much just outplayed yours. Other than trying to save your Reinhardt some damage at the beginning, there was really nothing you could have done to help that push. As D.Va, your DPS could have did some things, but honestly, not much you could do. They pretty much just outplayed you in as a team. Alright, so some general takeaways for D.Va. Kind of take a step back from what's actually going on for a second while you're doing it, and think about what the best way to help your team is. Damage isn't always the best thing. Think about opportune times to use defense matrix. There were definitely some times that you could have helped mitigate some more damage, or you could help somebody get through a choke. Not as obvious examples as like a Roadhog hook, but Bastion ult's a good one. You can pretty much negate a whole Bastion ult if you know how to toggle matrix on and off in between shots, because you know there is a delay between every shot. Communication is a big one. I couldn't hear your side of it, but I didn't see a whole lot of communicating syncing up ults. If you have a Reinhardt on your team as D.Va, definitely push for the Earthshatter self-destruct combo. You can get 3 or 4 kills almost every time if he lands a good Earthshatter. Try to learn some body language. Like I said with the Zarya part, you'll kind of know when Zaryas have ult, because they'll run straight at you. Mei's same way. Just kind of learn. You just gotta learn the timing of games. Like if you're on 4 minutes in a game and you haven't seen a graviton or you haven't heard a graviton, first ask your team, because sometimes it can go off when you're dead and you cannot hear it. But if nobody's seen it, then know that that person most likely has it, unless they've been doing really terrible that game. But at 4 minutes, pretty much everybody should have had one ult at that point, just from passive. So learn body language, so you can learn to defense matrix that stuff. In this instance, that Zarya was pretty much alone. She got a little basically a little ambitious with that, and tried to solo you guys. Had she done that with the rest of your team, they probably could have wiped you, even with your defense matrix. Other than that, general D.Va tip, make sure you're as close as possible when you're trying to do damage, because I saw a lot of times that you were shooting from pretty far back. Like the flank was a good example. When you're shooting from that far back, your damage is next to nothing. Alright, so let's take a look. Just like your last video, you decide to go with Symmetra. Looking at your defensive team comp, honestly, it seems pretty good. Not much you could really do to influence it. I probably would have dropped the Ana, especially at this level, because bronze and silver Anas aren't that great. For a second tank, maybe something with a little more damage, like Roadhog, or honestly, you could have ran with a D.Va. A D.Va would have been good in this situation, just for the mobility. But like I said, not much you can really do to influence that.
With somebody, with one of them left.
So you guys run out there.
You're on that team, and
you have some pretty good turret placements.
You shouldn't, in my opinion, you shouldn't lose SR, but
just like the last video, I would suggest getting a little more aggressive with them initially. You know, 3 or 4 right up front.
You lose MMR no matter what. So it is what it is.
So they have lost a player, so that kind of stinks. They do run straight in. You do get, I believe you pick up a kill early on. Maybe not. Their D.Va seems pretty good. Now this is your first mistake.
Shield down, shield down.
You do actually get bumped forward, I think. Let me take a look at it again. So you get, yeah, you do get bumped forward a little bit, but you were honestly not the right play to go for a turret there. You should definitely be behind your Reinhardt shield. I did notice that you did throw out your own shield, but that's not going to do too much in this situation because they're attacking from this direction and this direction. So your shield, maybe if it was angled out a little more, could have helped from this side, but it still wouldn't have stopped this side. So just stay behind your Reinhardt shield. Mid-fight's generally not a good idea to refresh turrets, especially when I believe you still had at least 3 or 4 of them. So you're down to 4. Yeah, so you had 4 and you push forward and then you die. And then you lose that turret immediately anyway. So basically that was a needless death for nothing. Now, those 4 turrets you did have left did quite a lot of work. You basically got 30, almost 40% ult charge in the time that you were dead.
Oh my gosh. Sorry behind you guys.
So you do the right thing. You go in, you help. You don't worry about turrets. You kill what you can.
I'm almost dead, mercy.
This is actually a really, really ballsy teleporter.
Oh, I just left spawn.
But I can understand the thinking behind it. They're swarming on the point, and you want to do anything you can to help stop it.
That teleporter. And they have a lever.
On point.
So they haven't found the teleporter yet. So worked out. Now they have. Good target selection there, going for the Mercy. Pretty much negates any chance they have it res. Now for this point, it's just a general Symmetra tip, but when you're attacking D.Va and her mech pops, let go of the fire button for just a second and then hit it again. This way it'll actually stop targeting the mech and target D.Va as she's popping out, as long as you aim up a little bit when you're letting go. It'll just help kill her a little faster. In most cases, you can kill her before she hits the ground, whereas when she pops out of the mech and you continue attacking the mech, she has a slight chance of getting away. Honestly, in most cases, you'll still kill her. Just a small little tip. So Junkrat's killed a whole bunch of your team, including your Mercy. And unfortunately, this is where you have a Windows problem and it gets you killed. But I don't think there's much you could have did in that situation anyway.
I'm coming.
They were already winning that fight, so not much you could do. So they win that fight. You decide to stay on Symmetra. I guess just because it's a comfort pick. Honestly, it's not terrible on this point, but there are a lot of other characters that could have been a little bit more help.
They don't have their Mercies down.
So expanding your roster a little more could have definitely helped. At this point, I would have definitely gone a second tank, someone like a Roadhog or a D.Va.
Right away. Okay, well, here's what we do. We don't be stupid. There we go. Don't overextend.
Go here, mate.
Pretty standard spot for the shield generator, but good job getting it up. Your May kind of ice blocks you. Good job going for the Mercy. Other than that, just standard Symmetra play. You're down to 2 turrets. Good job using the shield and pushing forward. Turret placement's a little weird, just because it's pretty easy to see them there and hit them, especially if they do decide to flank. But nothing Nothing that I would
Look
really
at the
criticize you on. It's just where you like to put them. So
Red's on the left. Got her.
not much you can do here. You pretty
down,
much
he's
get
down.
solo ulted by the Junkrat, and as Symmetra, you're pretty much not going to win that fight. Little trick is, if you see the tire coming at you, if you wait, you can kind of block it with your shield. It pretty much just comes down to luck. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends when the Junkrat decides to pop it. But it's always worth throwing the shield out just in case. The shield's going to give you more of a chance to
They
live
don't
than
have
your
soldier
beam.
ult and Junkrat ult.
So going for the flanking Symmetra route, good idea. Always, when you're playing Symmetra, it's always a good idea to attack from angles they don't expect you from. That was a great use of the shield. I know you had the Mei and the Mei froze him, but great use of the shield to secure the kill. Now you guys decide to push the Junkrat, which is a good idea, but you should probably let the Reinhardt go first, just in case the Junkrat gets cheeky and tries to knock you off. Overall, like I said, your Symmetra play is actually really good. So there, I know I'm nitpicking a lot, but that's honestly because that's the only thing I can really do.
They're behind us.
For some reason, your Ana's in a one-on-one battle with D.va.
Thank you, Sam.
Good job going up and saving her, though.
They got a Pharah.
Now they have a Pharah and a Junkrat. Pretty much two really good counters to Symmetra, just because they can both spam from pretty far away, and there's not much you can do about it.
Fuck.
But their Pharah
she
decides
killed
to just fall off the map. I don't know why. Pharah should never fall off the
Way
map.
out there, though.
So you know where Junkrat is. You just use your
Watch out,
shield.
Don't overextend, Symmetra.
You should definitely back up at that point. You should never push a Junkrat in a small, narrow space.
Back up, guy.
I know you thought you could win that with the shield, and it was a good idea, but that hallway is pretty much death when Junkrat's raining bombs down. Now you guys actually almost lost it there. Good job dancing around the D.Va.
Alright. Right.
Pharah behind us still. She dead? Yes, she dead.
Pharah's dead.
Okay, thank you.
So good communication, good target priority on that last push.
He was.
Good job getting turrets up, actually in really good locations.
They don't have any ult.
Mei throws out her ice wall. Mercy, I don't know what she was doing. She was just flying in there to die. They've already lost so many people. Any kind of push is over pretty much before it started.
Poor bastard.
So it kind of sucks that they lost a person, and I honestly hate to say it, but had they not lost that person, they probably would have won, because they almost won with 5. So general takeaways for Symmetra, and this actually goes for D.Va too, but you need to start thinking a couple moves in advance, kind of like chess. Think, okay, if I'm going to fly up to this ledge, what's the next thing going to do? Am I going to defense matrix, or am I going to get away? Always be thinking a little bit ahead. Symmetra really benefits from this, because not only do you have turrets, but you have a shield, and like I said, excuse me, one of the biggest benefits to Symmetra that you can provide to your team is attacking from directions they don't expect you from. But you should never attack from a direction that's going to leave you so overextended. Like, I see a lot of Symmetras get cheeky and go for a really long behind flank, in most cases that's not going to work, because sure, you may get a pick, but in most cases it's going to be a trade and they're just going to pick you off. I didn't see too many issues with that, but just a general tip that I'm throwing out. Overall, your Symmetra play is really good. Not much I can go into other than that. Just be aware of turret placements, be aware of counters. Now, they were running Junkrat Pharah. Honestly, had they switched to Winston, there should have been no reason to stay on Symmetra. I know the shield generator's good, but your team would have benefited more from a second tank or a DPS, or honestly anything at that point. So I want to see if I can get a final view of what your team was. So your team was pretty much what you guys started with, so nobody changed. Yeah, so I would have traded out the Sim for honestly a Roadhog or a D.Va. But you guys won, so can't really hate on it too much. So I think that'll about do it for this VoD review. I hope it's helping you, and if anybody else wants to submit one, you know, please feel free. I'll definitely go through it, give you guys the notes on what I can. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.